Good morning. Welcome to Rooted and Relevant. And this morning we're going to continue in Matthew 25 and look at what is so critical in embracing the fact that God initiates, God produces opportunities, but it immediately requires a proper response. It requires us to be responsible. And so though the opportunities are initiated by God, the responsibility is initiated by man. So I'm either going to be responsible with these opportunities that God has given me, or I'm going to be irresponsible. And that is completely my decision. And God, being a God of love, is willing to let me choose. And He'll let me choose poorly. Now, it does not pay off, it's not worth it. There's long range consequences in the future, there's often short range consequences here on earth for being irresponsible. And so let me read the text. And unto one he gave 5 talents, and to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise he that received 2, he also gained another 2. But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth, and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. In other words, there was going to be a day of reckoning. And it's important for us to realize that we have to solve the money issue, which means we have to understand what are the issues that come up regarding money. And there's 4 that I want us to look at. Uh, the Lord of the servants, he entrusted to one 5, and another 2, and to another 1. He knows what we are capable, the opportunities we're capable of capitalizing on. And so he initiates the opportunities. However, each one of these servants were to initiate their own responsibility to it. So the issue is, number one, solving the ownership issue. Who is it that owns our time? Who is it that owns our money? Who is it that owns our talent? Who is it that owns these opportunities that He is giving to us to be responsible with? We have to settle the authority issue. Who gets to decide the opportunities we're afforded? Who gets to decide how we're supposed to use those opportunities? Well, God does. So we must settle the ownership issue. We must settle the authority issue. We must settle the stewardship issue. Now, who is responsible? Well, we are. Why? Because we have been entrusted with these opportunities. And then settle the giving issue. Um, Ephesians chapter 4, when it's giving us all of our contrast between yielding to the flesh or yielding to the spirit, letting the flesh control or letting the spirit control, it gives to us in verse 28 an illustration or a contrast of let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor. Why? Well, so that he can have to give to him that needeth. God is saying if we cater to our flesh, everything is about us. We look at what can this do for me? What do I want? But if we are a giver, we tend to take the opportunities afforded to us and we say, what does God want? How can I serve others rather than being served? And so we have to settle the giving issue. And giving is powerful. Why? Well, because it settles the ownership issue. I don't have to try to control things. I just have to be responsible with what has been entrusted to me. And those opportunities that God lays in front of me, whether those opportunities are to increase my financial gain, or whether those opportunities are to share the gospel, or whether those opportunities are to show Christ to my neighbor or to those who are less fortunate, however it is that this opportunity is afforded to me, I am to be responsible with it. And it is powerful, realizing the results are really up to God, but I am to be responsible with my part. To settle the authority issue, giving is purposeful. It settles the authority issue. Okay, so God gave it to me. What does he want me to do with it? I'm not here to do with it what I want or what's going to benefit me. I'm to take the opportunity God has given to me and use it so that it fulfills his purpose. And so it settles the authority issue when we are giving with purpose or giving purposefully. And then we are to give productively. In other words, it settles the stewardship issue. It is supposed to produce something. In other words, we are to show Christ. It is to produce the fruit of the Spirit. It is to demonstrate the fruit of the Spirit. So, whatever the opportunity is, whether I'm going to work or whether I'm going to a church event, or whether I'm worshiping God Sunday morning, or whether I'm spending time with my family, or whatever I'm doing, God has given me this opportunity to invest so that it produces a product. And the product should be a right opinion of Jesus Christ, not about me. It's not about me. As soon as it is about me, I'm going to start giving into the flesh, and I'm not going to be a giver. I'm going to be a taker. And so we have to understand that giving is productive. It settles the stewardship issue. And then giving is proper in that we realize that money is just a tool. It is to be used to fulfill God's purpose, God's design. And so therefore, giving is a tool. It's just proper. Let him work, laboring with his hands, that he may have to give to him that needeth. It's so easy to want more and more and more, and to work harder and harder so I can have more and more and more. But it's just a bad trap. God says, listen, I'm going to give you opportunities. And if you will be wise, and you will be honest, and you will be responsible with these opportunities to do what I, as the owner, want when I gave it to you, what I, as the authority, has designed it to do, I will bless it. It will be productive. It will help people come to a right conclusion about Jesus. It will fulfill its purposes here on this earth. And it is just proper. It's what we're really here to do. I have heard it said, we are never more like God than when we give. Why? Because God so loved the world that he gave. God is a giver. And we're never more like Jesus Christ than when we forgive. We understand that we are here to invest in other people, to care for to care and to love one another. And so when it comes to finances, I think so many times we want to figure out, how can we make more? How can we end up with more? How can we get ahead? How can and we think that money management, that money, the use of money is all about bettering ourselves. When really the parable of the talents teaches us that no, we need to settle the money issue. We need to settle the issue of ownership first, and then settle the issue of authority, and then settle the issue of stewardship, and then settle the issue of giving. Am I a taker or a giver? And this helps us to understand the very purpose of money. And then when we fulfill those purposes, God blesses it to where it is productive according to the purpose that he gave it to us. The guy with 5 talents went out and just was responsible, and God blessed him with 5 more talents. The guy with 2 was just responsible. The guy with 1 was not. And he wanted to blame the owner, saying, you know what, you scare me, you intimidate me. I didn't want to lose what was yours. Um, that wasn't the reason that the owner gave it to him, was to fear, but rather to be responsible with it. And so the question that we all have to wrestle with this morning is simply this: are we being responsible with what God has entrusted to us? He initiates the opportunity. We are to initiate responsibility. And so that is how we settle the money issue. And today I am working in my backyard. I am getting ready to pour a bunch of cement and looking forward to sprucing the place up a little bit and getting some things in order. We've been waiting for the weather to cool. When we first moved down here, we thought we were going to do some of this. The weather chased us away from that idea, but now it is absolutely gorgeous and a great day today to work in the backyard. Maybe I can take a picture or two when it's all done and show you what God has done here. God bless you. Hope